Okay, now let's talk about tables. So we've cleaned up our documents by adding all of our code to the end. We've added captions to our figures. Now let's make our output for our models look nice by putting them into nice, neat tables. So there's several packages for making publication-ready pretty tables in RMarkdown. Some of them I've listed here. These all link to the package documentation if you're interested in learning more about them, or you could just Google them and you can find out a lot more. knitr, Xtable, Stargazer, Pander, tables, ASCII. There's way more than just this list too. If you Google kind of tables in R, the table 1 package is a great one. There are just a lot of potential ones out there. But today we're going to be talking about the knitr package because we already have it loaded for so that we could add our code chunks at the end. So tables with knitr, it's super easy to make a nice looking table in knitr. You just load the package and then you use the kable function. And the first argument is going to be whatever you want to go in that table. For example, here I'm putting the first 4 rows of the empty cars data set into this table. And then you can set a caption. For example, here I've set my caption to be, look at all those cars. And so it's good practice, like we like our captions for our figures, to also have captions for our tables. So it'll look something like this. There's a package in R called broom, and this is a fabulous package because what it does is it helps create tidy tables from your model output. And so you can use it for your LM output. You can actually use it for almost any kind of model that you're fitting in R. And it'll give you kind of a consistent table that will look nice to print in a report. And so this is how it works. So this is what your output would look like if you ran the LM function using the empty cars data. Here I'm predicting weight from AM, from whether there's automatic transmission. And over here I'm doing it using this broom tidy table. So I load the broom package, and then I fit my model and I save it as an object M, and then I use the tidy function. And so I plug M into the tidy function, and it gives me this nice looking table where the first column is the term, so the intercept or AM. The second column is the estimate for that term, so you'll notice this estimate 3.77 matches the coefficient from over here, and this estimate negative 1.36 matches the coefficient from over here. It also gives me my standard error, my t statistic, it gives you a p-value, and if you use certain options, you can actually also look at confidence intervals for that too. And so you can use this along with the kable function to output a pretty table. So here I've used that exact same model object, but I've wrapped, instead of just running tidy M, I've wrapped it in the kable object, because if you remember, the first argument within that kable function is going to be whatever it is that you'd like to make the pretty table out of. And so I want to make a nice table out of this tidy M object, and I get this nice output here that's a little bit more report friendly versus just seeing some R output. So let's go back to my demonstration and add that in. And so here I'm going to add a model. And I'm going to make my model be the same as the one I've plotted here. So I'm going to do a linear model predicting miles per gallon from weight using the empty cars data. And up here I'm going to add the broom package to my library calls, so that down here I can use tidy M to create a nice tidy table, a tidy output. And then what I want to do is I want to wrap this in the kable function so that I can see that in a nice tidy table. So let's knit that. So now you'll notice I get this nice table, although it's sort of just interspersed in there, so maybe I need a little bit of text. So I'm going to say we fit a model examining the relationship between weight and miles per gallon using the empty cars data. And then I'm going to add a caption here. linear model examining the relationship between weight and miles per gallon. And I can even add something like table 1 so that I know this is table 1. I'm going to say figure 1 here. And you know what I can do is then I can put in parentheses here, table 1. Okay, so let's run that. So now I've got this nice little text, and then I've got my nice table here, a linear model examining the relationship between weight and miles per gallon. And as I mentioned, we can also add confidence intervals, and so to this tidy function can take, let's pull it out here. I'm going to call this, let's call this tidy m. And so we'll put in the first argument here, tidy m. So we can add some options. Let's add some confidence intervals. So I'm going to do conf.int equals true. If you're curious about what you can add here, if you do $tidy, and then you click on this one, objects exported from other packages. This is from the library Broom. And this will tell you basically different ways you can tidy an LM object. And so it'll tell you the different options. For example, this conf.int option, or if you want to set a different confidence level, you can. Okay, so I've said conf.int equals true to get my confidence intervals to also be printed there. And there they are. Now these have a lot of digits, and so maybe we want to say digits equals, let's have just 2 digits in our output. That'll be a little bit more appealing. Here we go. So now we just have 2 digits in our table output. And if you want to see other options there, you can do kable, and that will show you the documentation. And you can see all different values here, like row names, column names, captions, labels, etc., etc. All right, so now it's your turn. I want you to use the same document as the previous application exercise, and I want you to update all the model output to be nicely formatted using tables that you can use either the tidy function along with kable, or if you'd like to try out a different table package from the ones I listed or from one you find online, you're welcome to do that as well. But I want to basically have you update so that the models that you're fitting in that report show these nice tidy table output.